Good morning, and happy Wednesday here from Arizona. It's going to be a blistering 108 to 110 degree day today. Can hardly wait. Maybe that heat will draw in some more moisture. Although the moisture has been fun because it's been kicking the living daylights out of us, knocking a few trees down. So this morning, on this midday look at our real estate, we are sitting at 68 listings on the market. And we're going to kind of poke around and we're going to look at something like the title says, that says 4 things people say about selling a home today that just aren't true. So we're going to take a little bit of a walk down that lane and see what's going on. If we look at our 7-day moving average, and I want to poke over here and show you this. One of the first things you hear is that buyers have backed off. So this red line here, I'm going to put it right where the buyers are, right here, homes under contract. And the blue line are new listings that come on. So there's a difference of about 350 homes there. But the difference between the buyer traffic, actual contracts here, and one of our peaks is only about, well, there's 4326 there, and then we have 3794 there. That's not a huge number. So if you're going to hear that buyers have backed off, then that number needs to be a lot bigger. 500 people in the valley here is not exactly buyers sitting on their hands. So they're still out there. Now, it's a struggle. It's still a struggle in some price points. Let's take a look at what's going on here in this article because I found it interesting. And I'm going to tick through it a couple times here and show you what we see in our market, because I also like to look at some headlines and then get down to the devil of the details. In other words, if I take a look at this one right here, the housing market continues to cool. What will fall be like? So the impression that you see on that headline is, oh man, fall, it's really going to slow down. And then they say the fall home buying season is likely to be busier than usual. And it says one thing that won't return to usual is the pace of sales. Usually the market begins slowing down and prices even dip in the fall. Families typically prefer to get settled before the school year begins, but this year, with the COVID-19 pandemic, it threw off normal timing, and activity is expected to stay brisk after summer's end. I expect an unusually busy fall season. After all, more homeowners are vaccinated and feel comfortable holding open houses, although the Delta variant of the coronavirus could change this, or they can't just delay their move. Sellers are putting homes on the market. Normally, this activity happens in early spring, so it's changing. You just can't compare 2021 to 2020. Have a question here from Ricardo. Says, how is the market looking in Maricopa? Thank you for sharing all this info. We'll take a look there, Ricardo. We'll pull that up in just a couple minutes here. 4 things people say about selling a home today that just aren't true. One of them is you don't need to renovate. Buyers will take anything. That's not true. There's, even when you really want that home and it's brisk out there and inventory's tight, people just don't want to buy a home that needs a lot of work. I mean, some buyers don't even want to buy a home that needs paint. So if you're thinking that you don't have to do anything to your house, that's probably true if you're going to market it and sell it to an investor. But the average buyer out there, you better spruce it up a little bit. So you can price your house sky high and get that amount. That's not true either. And here's an interesting thing to look at here, how to find out what your house is worth. And I've always said this and shake my head on it. When I see a house that's priced at $499, $999, it says seller need to consider how home buyers search for properties. Let's assume your home's fair market value is $503,000. Yet Dossman, the writer of this article, says he points out that many people search for homes on the web using $20,000 to $25,000 increments. The upshot, listing your home for $503,000 could prevent your listing from being seen by buyers who are searching in the $475,000 to $500,000 bracket. So people look $475,000 to $500,000, $500,000 to $525,000. If you're priced at $499,000, $999,000, that person looking for $500,000, you don't exist. You don't see it. So go ahead and pull it down $3,000 from $503,000, put it right at $500,000. You may get more than $500,000, you may get less, but you get more eyeballs on your home. So I know people used to price their cars, for $699,000, $999,000. Sellers don't need to market their listing. It will sell. That's not true. They said a client was interested in a multi-million-dollar home in Miami, but the listing featured only one smartphone photo of the exterior. She called the listing agent to ask if more images would be added, and the agent said the owner said they don't need any more photos since they were certain the home would sell fast. Now, as an owner, why would an owner not want photos? They're not the one paying the photographer. And why would an owner be satisfied with a cell phone photo of a multi-million-dollar home? That's just nuts to me. You need to have good photos. You need for people to be able to see it, especially now when people just aren't as comfortable going out walking in somebody's house right now. So the more photos you got is better. I have been on that soapbox for a long time, so I'm glad to see they brought that up. Here it says, in a bidding war, number 4, it's a no-brainer to just pick the highest offer. Not necessarily. Sometimes you want terms. Sometimes you want better terms. So you want, you may want somebody that's going to help you stay in the house a little bit longer while you're looking for a place. You may want a cash offer that closes quicker and you don't have to worry about appraisals and having the financing go through. So it's not always just looking at the highest price and away you go. Now, speaking of listings, let's take a look at what's called the listing success rate here. And this is, are people getting their asking price? And this is tracked weekly. So we had a high of 93%, and this is all price points. So we're going to take a look at different price points here and see what's happening. But we got 93%, and now it's sitting at 88%. That's why we're seeing 1,770 homes having a price reduction today. So, for this week. Now, if we take a look by price range, then it gets quite a bit different. So we're going to go from 300 to 400,000, which there aren't that many homes in that price point anymore. And because of that, their listing success rate was 95 and it's still 94. So people are getting their asking price in that price range. You go to 400 to 500,000 and we take a look and we're at 94% peak and down to 91. So let's take a look at all of them, and let's get down here to the city of Maricopa, because that's the question we had this morning. And let's see. Sometimes these things don't let me click on them the way I want to. Maricopa. First thing I got to do is learn the alphabet. There we are. There's Maricopa. And we'll see what pulls up. Here we are. Okay, look at that. Up, down, up, down. So we had 96% listing success rate, went down to 88, went to 94, went to 89, went to 94. I'm dizzy. Maricopa's making me dizzy. Ranked by city. Let's see what this looks like year to date. I'm going to have to do, I don't even like that one. This one's better. It's by price range. So this is showing that 0 to 200,000, only 50% of them are getting their asking price. And 0 to 200,000, they're probably cheap townhomes or condos. 200 to 250, 90.5. So the price range from 250 to 300,000 and 300 to 400,000 are the ones where people are having the most success in getting their asking price. 600, 800,000, only half of home sellers are getting their asking price. That price range right now has had their inventory double from May, and so you better price it correctly. Gets down here to, what's my home value to a buyer? How do I find out what my house is worth? These online calculations that you got in Zillow and Realtor.com and stuff, just drive around those digital home value things for just a couple minutes, and you're going to see wildly different numbers. But it's healthy to do that. Go to Zillow, go to Realtor.com, go to Redfin, go to a real estate agent's website, just put in what's my home worth. Be careful, though, if you're going in on realtors' websites and put what's my home worth, because they're going to want your email and they may want your phone number, and your phone's going to ring within 10 minutes. So, if you don't want to do that, then just stick with the big guns like Zillow, Realtor.com, and Redfin, where they're not requiring you to put in any ownership information, just the address. Even with that, sometimes they'll mail you a postcard. So, because it's really hard to get listings right now, but you can get 3 of them and you can kind of compare what your house is worth. And then you also know what your neighbor's home sold for, and you can kind of start to get a rough idea. If their home is on the market for 400,000, but you just think yours is wicked cool, that doesn't mean that it's worth 500,000. So you've got to be a little bit careful and price it correctly. The other thing, I want to go back and look here in Maricopa real quickly, again, because it was asked. Let's look at closings over list price and see if there's anything going on there. And I did have a question yesterday about Santan. The problem is in this database here, they don't break out Santan from Queen Creek, so it's hard for me to get in and do a deep dive for Santan, and I wish I could, because I get a lot of questions about that. Here's the city of Maricopa, and it's going to show us that they have 63% of homes are going over their list price in the 250, 300K, and then 300 to 400, 49%. That number used to be a lot higher. It used to be 60%. But there's 100 homes that sold in the past 30 days there. Out of those 100, they average $15,000 over list price. 400 to 500,000, 13,000. But if you look at all cities, this number changes dramatically. So you can see that between 400 and 500,000, they're at 15,000, but our list rate is, not our list rate, 53% of all homes are going over their asking price. So going forward, what are we going to see in the fall? Are we going to see what's true, what's not true? Well, here's what's not true. What's not true is buyers have not backed off. What is true is that listings are coming on. We're getting more and more every week. We're actually getting about 200 more each week. So last week, I think we came into the weekend at 7,400 homes. By the end of the month, we'll be hitting 8,000. But I remember the first time last year, it dipped below 8,000. I couldn't believe what my eyes were seeing. So now it's like, oh, well, we're almost 8,000 again. That's still historically low. As long as that number remains low, and as long as buyers continue the pace that they're at now, you'll see price increases. But you won't see it at the 17% rate that we have had. You're going to see maybe about 6 to 8% annual price appreciation with the inventory numbers and demand looking like they are now, and that's nationally. So there isn't going to be this crush of bidding wars, except when you're down below $400,000. That party doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. I'm not seeing that, because as prices go up, there's less and less homes available for that 350,000 range. So the ones that are out there, people are going to turn it into a little dogfight. So hope you found that helpful today. Everybody have a great Wednesday, and I will see you tomorrow morning.